Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to yet another location. I think the last time I talked to you guys I was in Colorado. Yes, I was in Colorado. Well, since then we have driven home to New York, which is a 25+ hour drive, and then we were there for like 5 or 6 days, and then we drove back to Michigan, but a different part of Michigan than what we were in last time, a little bit closer to Detroit. So here I am. I really want to do my February TBR today, but I want to do it differently than last time. Last time we used the picker wheel, and this month I want to use my new TBR tarot deck of cards. I got these from somebody on Etsy. I think her business is in like the Netherlands. But I got these right before I left Florida, so I'm really excited to use these because I believe they're all like hand drawn. Like obviously these are a replication, but I believe the originals were all hand drawn, which I think is really cool, and I love supporting that. So anyway, these are kind of what the cards look like. So I think how we're gonna do it is I'm going to shuffle these and then choose 5 or 6 as normal, and that'll be my February TBR. I really wanted to do it today, even though we've already started February, because I have a library like close by me, like within walking distance. So I was thinking we could set my TBR, and then who knows, maybe this week I will end up going to the library and getting a couple of my books from there. We'll see. But yeah, how do I want to do this? Shuffle, pick the prompt, and then pick the book, obviously, and then I'm gonna write it on my phone so I don't forget it this time, and that's it. I'm currently reading Silver and Smoke by Helen Shorter on my Kindle, and I'm like probably like 60% through that. So that is one that was on my 26 and 2026 list, so I will obviously be finishing that first before starting any of these. But yeah, without further ado, let's pick prompt number 1. I'm not looking. What am I feeling? What am I feeling? Okay, what is it? You tell me. Choose a book which suits the season you're currently in. Love that. I always love a good seasonal read. Okay, so obviously it's winter. I'm actually looking out the window right now and it's snowing. It is coming down. So let's see. A book that suits the current season. Oh, by the way, Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow, so we have 6 more weeks of winter. Unfortunately. I feel like that happens every year. Dang that groundhog. What was I doing? Attention span? Not here. Let's look at my physical TBR, which I have over here on the side of the bed on the ground. Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Is that even set in winter though? I feel like the cover is very much giving spring, and I know each book is like a different season setting. Yeah, I don't actually know. This does not tell me what season, but I like read the first page of it the other day and it was giving spring vibes, so I don't know if that one will work. That and Sky Shade are the only two physically with me that I have not read yet, so I don't think really either of those work for the prompt. And then let's look at my want to read list. We're looking for wintry books. Is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom a wintry book? Because I really want to buy the physical copy of that, the one with the purple cover. It's just like beautiful. The edges are beautiful, the cover is beautiful. I'm intrigued by it. Is this a winter book? Someone please tell me. I'm gonna find a winter book and then I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, I'm back. I think I finally figured it out after searching the title and like, is it set in winter on Google for every single one of the books on my want to read list. I think one of the only ones on here that's considered set in winter is Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which I am very excited to read. This one, that much about it, all I know is that it's involving superheroes, which is a subgenre of fantasy that I don't feel like I've really explored much yet. So I am very, very excited for this one. And of course, V.E. Schwab is one of my like new, like within the last couple years, I would say she's like one of my newfound favorite authors. So number 1 on the February TBR is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Love that for me. So yeah, let's pick our second pick from our cards here. I feel like I don't really have them like splayed very well. What are we feeling? Let's choose this one. What do we got? Choose a book that has been gifted to you. That's hard because I only have 2 physically with me, both of which I bought myself. However, if I think about the books that are still on my TBR, but they're like boxed up back home that I haven't yet read and were gifted to me, the one that I can think of right off the top of my head is the Expanse series. My brother-in-law, it was last Christmas, got me the first 3 books of the Expanse, and I've read 2 out of those 3. And then this Christmas, he got me the next 3 in that set. So it is a series that I want to keep making progress with. So I think, if I'm remembering correctly, let me just double check. I think my options would be Abaddon's Gate, which is book 3, like I said, in the Expanse series by James S. A. Corey. Or he also gifted me A Deadly Education, that whole series as well last winter, so I could read A Deadly Education, but I keep saying that before I start that series, the Sholomance series, I really want to finish Zodiac Academy because I only have one book left. I have book 9 left, so I would really like to finish that first, just because I've heard that there are similar vibes. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I am going to go with Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey because I have really been in a sci-fi mood. I've been in my sci-fi era already this year. Like in the month of January, I think I read 6 sci-fi/sci-fi adjacent books. Like they weren't all just like actual sci-fi, but they were all kind of in that general broad category. Book number 2 on my February TBR is going to be Abaddon's Gate, which I'm also very excited for. Okay, pick number 3. I feel like we haven't really chosen from this side, so I'm gonna choose from this side. What do we got? Choose a book with a flower on the cover. Oh, wait, guys, I think I know exactly which one I'm gonna choose, and I think you probably know too, because I already brought it up. So this is not technically the cover that's in stores right now. This one also has flowers on it. I think the purple cover does have flowers on it. Let's Google. Oh yeah, definitely flowers all over the cover. Perfect. Okay, because this is the book, the next book that I want to buy physically, we're gonna put this on the list. So third pick for February is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, who is the same author as When the Moon Hatched, which is a book I need to reread soon, by the way, before book 2 of that series comes out. But I've heard really, really good things about To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. All I really know though about it is that it's kind of gothic. I have the synopsis right here in front of me. Oh yeah, it's a Rapunzel retelling, like that kind of a story. Oh, it just sounds so good. I'm not gonna read out the synopsis to you, but I don't know. I just feel like I really want something darker and gothic and angsty, and that sounds like this sounds like it'll be perfect for that. It says a unique new fantasy series perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas, Jennifer L. Armentrout, guaranteed to grip you from the very first page. I'm sold. Pick number 3 is secured, and I cannot wait to go buy that copy. Every time I see it in the store, I'm like, just wait till you are in one location for like literally more than 4 days. Honestly, we've barely been anywhere for more than 6 days in the last 2 months, so I've been waiting. But anyway, that will hopefully get purchased very soon. Pick number, what are we on? 4? Let's do from way over here. Okay. Choose a book with a purple cover. I also could have chosen To Bleed a Crystal Bloom with this prompt. Okay, do we have any other purple covers that I'm like dying to read right now? Ooh, yeah, there's quite a few. Physically, the 2 that I have in my book box, no. When I'm looking at my want to read list, Wrath of the Dragons is like kind of more blue, so we're not gonna include that. Dawn of Chaos and Fury does have purple on the cover, and that is one that would help me complete a series, but it's huge. Massive book, so I don't know if I'm feeling that right now. Also, I've totally forgotten to write down these titles as we've been going, like I said I was going to, so let's do that real quick. This season we have Vicious. So we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, we have Abaddon's Gate, and then we have flower on the cover, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, and now we have with the purple cover that we were searching for. Okay, so back to the task at hand. A Dawn of Chaos and Fury is Legacy book number 4 by Melissa K. Rorick, which would help me finish out a series. However, this book is like 1,000 pages, and I also don't really remember what happened in the last one, so that would also require a bit of like research on my part to make sure that I remember everything. Does anybody know if that book has like a recap at the beginning? Because that would also really help me. So I don't know. We're gonna bypass that one for now. The other option for purple on the cover is The Raven Scholar by Antonio Hodgson. However, that is also an extremely large book at like 700 pages and would be starting a new series. So if I'm gonna do a huge book, I think I'd rather complete a series rather than start a new one. So we're gonna wait on that one. Even though I'm very excited for that one as well. We also have Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher, which is a smaller book at 267 pages. This one I believe is kind of like fantasy but also horror, and it's about a woman who moves to the desert, and then like there's like strange demons and strange things happening. There's something lurking, so that sounds a little spooky. I don't know if I'm in the mood for spooky right now. We also have Entity by Meg Smitherman, which is another like novella horror man situation by the same author as Thrum, and I really, spoiler alert, I read Thrum in January and really enjoyed it. But again, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, so let's see what else we can find. What about books that come out this month? Are any of those purple? Throne of Nightmares is not purple. Half City is not purple. And unfortunately, Now Back to You is also not purple. So I think the only one, without me going and finding a random new book to add to my list, that will fit the prompt and that I like maybe feel like reading is A Dawn of Chaos and Fury. And like I said, that will get me finished with the series. Plus it's on my 26 books in 2026 list. So it would feel very productive to finish that one. So we are putting Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick on my February TBR as pick number 4 for a purple cover. Okay, pick number 5. Because that one's so massive, Abaddon's Gate is huge. Fishes, I think, is like normal size. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom is like decent sized. And then A Dawn of Chaos and Fury is absolutely massive. So because of that, I think we're only going to choose 5. So this will be our last pick for February. Let's make it good. Resplay. They're kind of like, they kind of stick together. So chose all the way from over here last time. So we're going to try to stay this side. Choose a book which is written by an author you don't know. I'm gonna choose to think that that means like an author that I haven't read from yet, because if I choose an author that I don't know, never heard of it, then would it even be? Well, actually, there are a few on this want to read list that could fit. For example, we could do In the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy. I've never read anything by her, although that would be another fantasy. And how many fantasies do we already have? Like 3. We already have like 3 fantasies. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. That could work for this one because that is definitely an author. I added this to the list because it was a recommendation from one of my friends. And I believe this is romance. The Bridgerton era, the magical realism, I don't know. It sounds fun, so that one could be an option. What else do we have? Author that you don't know. Kate Golden. Have I read anything by Kate Golden yet? What else has she written? Because Half City could also, but that's another fantasy. Kate Golden, I guess I haven't really read anything by her either, so that could technically also be an author, I don't know. What are the chances I actually read Half City this month though? That's the problem. Ooh, what about my Kindle Unlimited list? These might be authors I don't know. I could do From Lukov with Love, but that's a huge romance. Okay, I think I'm going to go with The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon, because that is an author I don't really know much about. And like I said, I put this on this list because one of my good friends recommended this to me. So yeah, what do I even know about this book? Hart is a marshal tasked with patrolling the strange and magical wilds of Tanria. It's an unforgiving job and Hart's got nothing but time to ponder his loneliness. Mercy never has a moment to herself. Ooh, she works at an undertaker's. Okay, so it sounds like kind of silly, maybe back in like older times, maybe a little bit of like magical realism involved, but not quite fantasy. Okay, this sounds fun. Our last pick of February is going to be The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which I think is fitting for the month of February, the month of love, being that we're going to finally add a romance to the list, and the cover is really cute. So okay, these are the 5 books going on my February TBR. Number 1, we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which is a like superhero, supervillain fantasy. Extremely excited for this one. Second, we have Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey, book 3 in the Expanse series, and one that I'm very excited to continue. Like I said, I'm definitely in my sci-fi era, so again, fitting to go on the next TBR. Maybe not fitting for February, but that's okay. And then we have To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, which again, just based on like the cover and stuff, feels fitting for February. Book number 4, A Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick. Book number 4 and the final book, I believe, in the Legacy series, which I will need to brush up on. And then last but not least, we have The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which is our one and only more contemporary romance type book on the list. Those are the 5 books that I'm going to attempt to read in the month of February. I would love to know what you guys plan to read in the month of February. Please let me know down below. I always forget to talk about the books that were on last month's TBR and which ones I actually got to. So from January's TBR, we read all of them except for 1. And the only one I did not get to was The Will of the Many. Not because I wasn't excited to read it. I'm extremely excited to read that one. I just kind of like ran out of time and I was mood reading from my January list. So what was on my list? Let's just look at the books I read. Okay, Cress was on my list, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. And I ended up reading Cress and Winter, which we're not going to talk about every book that I read in January. That's a separate video. But I did read Cress. I did read The Enchanted Greenhouse and Thrum and Blood Over Brighthaven and Daddy Issues. So like I said, I believe the only one we didn't get to was The Will of the Many, which again, hopefully should read hopefully soon, because I really do. I'm very excited for that one, but I need to be in like the right mindset. Those are all of the picks for February. Again, love to know what you plan to read in February. What book are you most excited that's coming out in February? I'd love to know that as well. I'm really excited for And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison, as well as Half City by Kate Golden, and Throne of Nightmares by Carrie Maniscalco. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, by the way, for sticking with me if you are still subscribed to my channel, even though I have been very MIA, very kind of all over the place. I really appreciate you for sticking around, and I hope to see you in the next one, and have a fabulous February. Bye.